Hey, good evening, everyone. Just getting set up here. We'll wait just a few minutes or a few seconds, not a few minutes, but I'm excited that you all are able to join me tonight. We're going to be talking about 5 secrets to mastering learning to sew. And I'm going to just talk about how I can teach you how to sew if you have any interest. Maybe you have already learned to sew and need to get back into it. Maybe you've never touched a sewing machine. And mostly, I have a lot of people say they have a sewing machine and they've never even gotten it out of the box. So, we're going to have lots of fun, talk about sewing, my favorite thing. And I'm going to go ahead and get my slides set up here. So, if you want to just say hi as you come in, or even if you are watching a replay later, leave a comment and let us know where you're watching from. Okay. Let me get this started. Actually, hold on, let me get it to the back. Get this in presentation mode real quick. Okay. So this is 5 secrets to mastering sewing, even if you haven't taken your machine out of the box. So if you are joining us, whether you were on our email list or just on YouTube this evening, during this webinar, we're going to be talking about several things. So by the end of the webinar, you will learn what you need to get started in your sewing journey, how to set up your machine for success, tips to control fabric machine speed, achieve straight lines, let go of your fear of messing up, and that practice makes perfect. You want to relax and have fun. So if you stay till the very end, you will get Katie's Sewing Checklist. It will help you to make sure you have everything you need before you start sewing. It'll give you skills to master, and you can check them off as you learn each one. So you will get that at the end of the webinar. Now let me hold on one second here. Okay, so if you're ready to learn, I will ask just if you want to silence your phone, log off Facebook, because we all know we like to check our status, see what everybody else is doing. Just, you won't have any distractions. Go ahead and save your questions till the end of the broadcast, because I'm going to hang around. We'll have plenty of time for that. And again, if you're watching a replay, please still continue to post any questions you may have. And then if you want to grab a notebook, you can get ready to take some notes. Just, if you want to have a follow-up question or whatnot, that'd be great. So let me make sure that I can be heard and whatnot. Can you all see my screen? If you can see my screen, if someone will just comment yes, that'll be great. So hold on. Looks like Anne is here from Florida. Let me make sure. Okay, there we go. There we are. Okay, so now I can see in the corner here. All right, now we can get started because now I can see everything else. And I want to make sure that we've got our slides ready. Okay, so if you are just joining us, feel free just to say hello and let us know where you're from, but we're going to get started. And let's see here. Let me share this. Okay. I want to get back to this other screen. I want to make sure that my slides, because they weren't changing here, and make sure you all can see it. Okay, hold on. I just want to make sure that you all can see my slides. Okay. Just having a little technical difficulty. Sorry about that. Okay, so if any of this sounds familiar to you, these are many things that I have personally said to myself many years ago. But one, I don't even know how to thread my machine. I don't understand how understand the pattern directions. The clothes I've made never fit right. I get frustrated and never finish my projects. And I want to feel proud of what I've made and not embarrassed. So these are just some of the things that, I have felt. I've heard, others say they have felt. So if any of these things feel like something you felt, stick around. And I just wanted to give a quick introduction of myself that, when I started sewing, I was in middle school and just immediately fell in love with sewing. And I didn't have anyone that was able to help me learn, give me instructions, and there was no internet. um, so I had no choice basically to just teach myself. So when I went to college, I went to University of Kentucky. I majored in fashion merchandising. I did work at an alteration shop and I did an internship for a theater costume shop. And those were places that, I was able to be around people that sewed, help me to learn some extra tips and tricks to make sewing easier and to do it the correct way. But for the most part, I had to learn myself. Um, so I, just thinking back to those days, I just, it was very difficult. And so that's why I have created Katie's Sewing Academy to encourage and help others get started. So we're going to be going over a couple of myths about sewing. And the first myth is it is too expensive. That is the myth number one. Myth number two is I don't have time. And I know, we say that about many things, never have enough time, especially for like exercise. But, sometimes we just don't make time to learn things that we want to learn. And one of the other myths that we're going to be talking about today is myth number three. And that is that I need someone to teach me in person. That I can't do it, through a video. I have to, be in person, and that is our myth number three. So those are just some of the things that we are going to be talking about today. And I wanted to just, let you all know we're going to go over each and every one, but you can learn online. I do have some testimonials to share with you, and these are just some testimonials from my TikTok account, from my YouTube videos, and these are some that I pulled offline. So you can see those. You can go and check them out yourself. But just that it can be done. We've had lots of comments that making things easier, and just being able to watch a video, they were able to learn. So we're going to start going through our secrets. So secret number one is going back to that sewing, is too expensive. I just want to let you know that you do not have to have the top of the line machine. There are tons of sewing notions, and you don't have to get every single thing right away. But to be perfectly honest, the best thing to do is, try it out, if you know someone that has a sewing machine that you could borrow, maybe somebody in your family let you use theirs, or you might have a friend just let you try it out. I don't advise to go run out and just buy, the most expensive machine you can get your hands on, because it's just like anything else. You can always buy a secondhand because people are constantly, upgrading, and now they want to get more bells and whistles. So you can get a pretty good machine for less. You don't have to buy a brand new one. And there's so many sewing notions. You really just need the basics. You're going to need, thread and scissors and your machine. So if you feel like these are things that you can afford, I'm going to give you, all the information you need, what you need to get started. You don't have to just buy everything. So we're going to talk about, what you need is any brand sewing machine that's in good working order. A used machine, like I mentioned, will give you more bang for your buck, as many people trade in their machines for an upgraded model. And the only supplies you must have are thread, scissors, and fabric. So those are the absolute must-haves for just getting started. So don't think it's so expensive I can't start sewing. There's many ways to do that. So now we are going to get ready for secret number 2. So if you're joining us, throw up an emoji. Let us know if you're ready to learn about our secret number 2. And moving on to that, secret number 2 is going to be look over the manufacturer's instructions to make sure that you have set up your machine correctly. I will tell you, I am not one to read the instructions, but I promise you, if you look at the manufacturer's guide for your machine, read through that in order, don't skip around, it will make your life easier. Because it's step by step, and I have been known to just skip over and not read the instructions because that's just how I do. But it's one of those things, don't do as I say, don't do as I do. So if your machine is not threaded correctly, it's not going to sew properly. And if you read through that manufacturer's guide, it will tell you, it will have a picture. So it's very important, to reduce your frustration in sewing, that your machine is set up correctly. That you have the thread in your machine correctly, the tension dials are correctly, to make sure that it stitches perfectly. Because trust me, once you get frustrated and you don't know what's going on, you're going to go back to the book and start from the beginning. So reading through the instructions on how to do all the thing is very important. And if it doesn't make sense, you can always look for a video here on YouTube. Exactly. There's always YouTube videos for your exact model or brand. So you can search by like the model number of your machine and find a video, because sometimes, it is easier just to show that. So here's some more testimonials about things that I have shown people. I've even done, on my embroidery machine on YouTube, showed how to fix some things. So I just wanted to share those things with you, that videos are helpful. It makes your life so much easier to learn to sew. It really does. And that is part of the reason I'm putting together Katie's Sewing Academy in a video form instead of an in-person class. So our secret number 3 about sewing is, I refer to this anytime I'm teaching someone to sew, it's sewing is like driving a car. It really is. Because when you drive a car, you've got a foot pedal, and you also have to guide that fabric through. So just like driving a car, you're going to realize that you've got to sew straight. You've got to control the speed of your machine, just like controlling the speed of a car. So you've got that presser foot. There's multiple things going on. You're going to want to sew at a slower speed to go straight, so you don't want to get too crazy. So it is very similar to driving a car. Now, if you are not old enough to drive a car just yet, you can still learn to sew, but then you'll have that realization that, so if you're in middle school like I was when I started to sew, you may not be driving a car yet, but you'll understand, guiding fabric and keeping the speed and going straight are all very important. So that is going to move us into secret number 4. And unfortunately, mistakes are going to happen. There's just no way around it. It does not matter how long you sew. I have been sewing for 30 plus years and I still make mistakes. But I know how to fix those mistakes. But unfortunately, just, as you go through your sewing journey, you unfortunately will still make silly mistakes. So that's just part of learning. And part of learning is being willing to fix your mess ups. That's how you learn. Your seam ripper is going to be your best friend. I can't have enough of them. Just even sitting right here, got this one, right here in my hand. They're like readily available everywhere in my sewing room, on my cutting tables, because trust me, the seam ripper is going to be your best friend for life, for the life of your sewing journey. So that's going to bring us up to speed to our next secret, which is secret number 5. And you'll be amazed at how great it feels to finish that first project. Now, sometimes just, finishing can be difficult, just depending on what your project is, but as a first project, don't bite off more than you can chew. You don't want to. I had someone bring me like a very advanced project, and she had never had her sewing machine out of the box. I'm like, first of all, we got to back up. You need to learn to use your machine before we can go into an advanced project. But if you start out slow, start out with the basics, your first project, it may not be perfect, but when you finish and you can tell somebody, hey, I made that, it's just going to feel so good, and your friends are just going to be amazed. And just being able to practice your skills, and after you feel confident, then try moving on, try something else. Now, I actually sew for a living, and something I have to remember, if you decide to get into sewing for a living, is that I'm not my ideal customer sometimes. So if you want to advance into sewing for a living, you have to remember that your customers, they don't understand what it took for you to learn, that they are willing to pay for your work because they can't do it. And, your friends and family, they will want to support you. So if that's something in your sewing journey you want to get into, that's a little something you might want to just keep in mind. But I do want to go through and just, review these myths that we have just busted. And that is myth number 1, it's too expensive. It's only too expensive is if you overspend and buy too many things straight out of the gate. So you really have to be conscious, and it's extremely easy to do to want to get all the things. So just stick with the basics, your machine, scissors, fabric, thread, that's really all you need to do to learn to sew. Second myth is I don't have time. It doesn't take hours on end. When you are learning to sew, just give yourself 30 minutes. 30 minutes, if you want to make it 30 minutes a day, a project may take several hours to finish, but that doesn't mean you have to do it in consecutive hours. So anything we do, if it's important, we will make time. And then the third myth was, I need someone to teach me in person. Well, one thing I can say is after COVID, everything went online and Zoom, you can learn. You can learn through the videos I teach. We're going to have an opportunity to have a Facebook group where you can ask me questions, all those things. These are some more comments that I've gotten from videos. This one just says, thank you. It happens to me all the time. You make it look so easy. You're a fabulous teacher. You know, this was a TikTok video. I'm just trying to show how to do some alterations. So it is possible. You can learn. So that is a total myth. You don't have to learn in person. So this is just, I hope some of these things are resonating with you. But if you would like me to help you start your sewing journey and help you start without any confusion, overwhelm, or costly mistakes, then I am definitely willing to do that. And I just want to let you know we have some different options for our sewing academy. So one thing is, you know, if you just think you want to learn on your own, try to figure this out, and you end up frustrated and exhausted, you know, that's option one, which most people don't want to do. Or you can go with option two and follow a tried and true test path from stress to successful. Most people are going to want to do option two. So I'm introducing my online sewing course called Katie Sewing Academy. Here are some of the things that are going to be available within the sewing course. You will have a monthly Ask the Expert. We'll have Q&A where you're working on something, and I'm going to answer those questions in a Facebook group. We have multiple projects that will be added. These are just a few that are already in the course set up, ready and waiting. You'll have some bonuses on how to set up your sewing space. If you sign up for the annual membership, you're going to get some extra bonuses, projects to sew and sell, how to use your blind hem stitch, and how to finish your edges without a serger. So you're going to get some extras if you sign up for the yearly versus the monthly. So get ready to learn. I want it to become second nature for you, just like driving that car, like I mentioned. We're gonna talk about how to understand patterns. We're gonna use different sewing patterns, but we want to complete these sewing projects. We want to be able to complete them with ease, without our frustration, and I want to help you do that. So in Katie Sewing Camp, we have a couple different modules. This is what's going to be available in each module. Your supply list, just getting started, getting used to your machines. You're going to learn in the second one, here's some small projects to get you started with sunglasses case, scrunchie, tote bag. But these are some of the things that are going to be set up ready for you in Katie Sewing Academy as soon as you sign up. So just want to let you know. So and then we have even how to upcycle garments. That's one of my favorite things to do. It's really fun, just altering those things. So Katie's Sewing Academy, these are the supply lists you're going to get, beginner sewing projects, reading patterns. It's going to teach you how to sew with confidence, complete your projects, and reduce your frustrations. And we have so many bonuses. The bonuses alone, I would have loved to have back in the day. So the cost is very affordable, and we have two options. You can do a yearly or a monthly. So you can sign up today. We have the link to sign up in the description below. I also have it listed in the comments, so you can check that out. We're going to have it limited, just starting out first 50 people, so we'll keep it open for those first 50 people to get signed up. And because we're still testing it out a little bit, but if you have any questions, just let me know. And I'm going to get over here. Let me change my screen one more time. Hold on. Had a little. So you're going to have a step-by-step blueprint that's going to help you. And I want to be able to just go through all these things. And I'm going to leave this last 5 minutes for you to slide up. It's just all the things that are going to be available to you with your bonuses for the monthly. You'll get the bonus of how to set up your sewing space. And then for the annual, you're going to get 3 extra bonuses. So it's a really good deal, and you can do it. You can cancel anytime. You can do it monthly, or you can save $97 and sign up for our yearly. So I hope that you are excited and want to learn to sew with me. And you can click on the link that I've got posted in the comments or in the description. And like I said, you'll save $97 with the yearly plan. So let me stop sharing here. I'm going to, will that stop? All right, let me see if I can get this to stop sharing. 1 second. But if you have any questions, either now while we're chatting or after the video in the replay, just let me know. Let me see here. Let me get back to this. There we are. Okay. I'm a little technically challenged. I can sew really well, but technology I am sort of good at, but then a little challenged. But anyway, I'm glad that you were able to join with me for this webinar. I hope you're excited as I am for Katie's Sewing Academy. And I look forward to having you take some of the classes. And then when you sign up, we'll also send you a link for the Facebook group where you can ask even more questions. You can post pictures of projects. I'll help you along the way, because that was one of the things as I was learning to sew, I had to teach myself. I did not have anybody to post a picture of like, hey, this is what this looks like. Is this right or wrong? Or I don't understand this pattern, because if I didn't understand a pattern, I either just had to wing it and hope it was still functional, whatever I was making, or it got pushed to the side into the unfinished projects, the UFOs, unfinished projects. But, I wanted to, as I've gotten older, I was like, I want to be able to share and teach people and just help eliminate some of the frustration I had. And that way, I think it'd just be really fun. We'll have others in the Facebook group, and you can even share with each other. But I'm going to be available, to answer any questions as you get started. So again, thanks for joining me this evening, and post your questions, and I will type in the chat and answer any questions that you may have. So have a great night.